A history lesson in bodybuilding. Discover how weight training has developed throughout the long term, separated by various periods. The actual culture of muscle building has drawn in adherents for a long time before the approach of serious weight training as far as we might be concerned today. Devotees of the iron game will realize that lifting weights in its famous structure started decisively during the 1890s with the appearance of Mr. Eugene Sandow, whom the Mr. Olympia sculpture is displayed on. Notwithstanding, weight preparing as an overall athletic movement was at first rehearsed as a way to acquire strength and measure power in old Egyptian and Greek social orders. These social orders would basically utilize stones of different sizes and loads, a training that would happen in some structure from the beginning of time, as they continued looking for body change. The festival of the human body through strong improvement was, indeed, one of the Greek beliefs. Actual culture, recognizable from working out in essence because of the absence of explicit actual presentation as ultimate objective, can be followed back to 11th century India, where stone-free weight loads, known as nals, were lifted by those needing to foster their bodies to upgrade well-being. Rec centers were typical in India during this period, and by the 16th century, weight preparing is thought to have been India's public diversion. There was to be a significant stretch between the 16th century actual development in India and the start of working out, characterized as preparing and consuming less calories to foster one's body explicitly for exhibitive purposes, as far as we might be concerned today. The early period 1890 to 1929. Around the finish of the 19th century, weight preparing took on another importance for some, as the old custom of stone lifting, rehearsed at first by the Greeks and Egyptians, cleared a path for a totally new procedure for preparing, with another ultimate objective. Weightlifting for diversion purposes arose in Europe, flagging the start of an actual culture at no other time seen. The aim was not to form one's constitution into a brilliant exhibition fundamentally, however, to excite swarms with astonishing amazing accomplishments. The expert strongman was the result of this increased interest in weight preparing. The advanced game of weightlifting was an all-around normal development from the similarly crude act of stone lifting in dim, moist prisons. Of course, weightlifting dramatically filled in fame to such an extent that today the works on during the early time of 1890 to 1929 would appear, best case scenario, old. The acts of the late 19th century strongmen included giving difficulties to individual strongmen to see who could outlift the other as they headed out from one town to another. Different practices included pulling trucks and lifting creatures, doubtlessly stirring up a lot of delight for spectators. People in general wanted to watch these men contend, potentially for the oddity esteem if nothing else. How their builds looked didn't factor into these men's presentations of actual ability. Without a doubt, a distending stomach and thick greasy appendages were typical among these contenders. Balance and feel were an unfamiliar idea now. In any case, as the 20th century drew closer, a man who was to overcome any barrier between the overweight and unattractive strongman and the jock as we probably are aware him today was to arise. Formerly known as the main popular jock and the dad of present-day working out, Eugene Sandow conceived Friedrich Müller, brought into the world in 1867, promptly turned into a marvel with his uncommon mix of muscle quality and strength. He turned into a turn-of-the-century actual social symbol who is alluded to as one of weight training's most noteworthy, even in the present environment of hereditary oddities. Prior to the development of Sandow, advocates of actual culture were attempting to discover better approaches to advance sound ways of life in accordance with the new marvel of weight preparing for actual show. Burnt out on the overweight strongman picture with its absence of accentuation on right eating and high muscle versus fat levels, they were searching for a delegate who could advance the ripped bod, and the ensuing methods of accomplishing this look. They discovered their man in Sandow. Sandow himself began in Europe as an expert strongman, outperforming any remaining strongman to become famous. He went to America during the 1890s to be charged as the world's most grounded man, venturing to every part of the nation and dazzling individuals with his remarkable impressive accomplishments. The most astounding thing about Sandow, in any case, was his wonderfully balanced and thickly strong constitution, which in the long run situated him as the main genuine weightlifter and advertiser of working out. For sure, Sandow distributed the primary working out magazine, Physical Culture, fostered a portion of the principal weight training apparatus, and showed up in various books and postcards, while proceeding to visit America presenting to sold-out crowds. While Sandow kept on advancing working out, weightlifting challenges were formally held interestingly with the World Championships in England in 1891. Weightlifting was additionally highlighted in the primary present-day Olympic Games in 1896, in Athens, Greece. Because of Sandow's impact, deals of free weights and free weights expanded by a landslide, and an entire working out industry was made, with Sandow procuring huge number of dollars 7 days. Tragically, Sandow experienced a deadly mine discharge when, as per legend, he attempted to pull his vehicle from a trench in light of a legitimate concern for actual presentation. Sandow's heritage lives on in the expanding advancement of lifting weights as a game into the 21st century. Sandow made a decision about the very first weight training challenge held, and his picture is deified on the current Mr. Olympia sculpture. The first bodybuilding contest ever held. The principal working out show, organized in 1891 and charged as the Great Show, was created and advanced by, as a matter of fact, the incomparable Eugene Sandow. Subsequent to advocating working out however incessant strength shows and presenting shows across Europe and America, Sandow, 34, chose, following 3 years of preparation, that all was good and well. He would give all Sandow understudies in the UK with the chance to show their constitutions in a contest setting packed with a full passing judgment on board and paying crowd. The challenge was publicized 3 years ahead of time in the principal version of Sandow's magazine to advance the further spread of actual presentation and pride in one's body. To manage the cost of support to the individuals who are restless to consummate their bodies, was the assertion given, and numerous devotees acknowledged this opinion, as exemplified by the huge turnout of hopefuls and sold-out horde of 2,000. The complete prize cash came to 1,000 guineas, which likened to more than $5,000 at that point. In front of the pack would get what could be compared to $2.500 and a gold Sandow statuette, while second and third would bring home silver and bronze statuettes separately. To contend in this challenge of challenges, all contenders originally needed to have set in a more modest territorial show, a striking continue on Sandow's part at that point. Nonetheless, this framework demonstrated practical, and on Saturday, September 14, 1901, England's Royal Albert Hall was pressed to spilling over with observers and contenders. These presentations included wrestling, vaulting, and fencing, and, at their consummation, the genuine competitors, the weightlifters, made their passageway. The weightlifters, of which there were 60, walked to the beat of Sandow's own piece, The March of the Athletes, wearing the necessary outfit, dark leggings, dark rider belt, and panther skins. Concerning the bodies, the paying public was exceptionally intrigued. One columnist commented, "To remain in these men's positions is a qualification." Quote, The making a decision about standards was severe, and Sando clarified that focuses would be granted for ascribes other than sheer size. To be sure, Sando was searching for evenly even turn of events, the characteristics that many say are disregarded in working out today. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like and subscribe to Life is Often if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content.